UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus Aliskerov. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
All right, to kick it off, I'll rate the card a solid 7.5. 7.5. The crowd in Saudi Arabia was kind of dead to me, but hey, it is what it is. It's about the fights, not the crowd. And I think we got a pretty good show for a fight night, in my opinion. And the first fight I want to talk about of the night is Rinat Farentimov versus Nicholas Dalby. And that looked good. He looked really, really good. Nicholas Dalby looked really, really good. I mean, I did not expect that. I did not expect a very, very good fight. Nicholas Dalby showed why he never got finished, because he has a live dog in him at all times in the fight. He got some good shots off on Farentimov, but I did have Farentimov winning. I want to say 2-1. I would have to go back and rewatch the fight, but I want to say I had Rinat winning the first and second round, if I remember correctly. Probably draw somebody in the top 15, in my opinion. I mean, he has wins over Nicholas Dalby now. He has a win over Kevin Lee, and he also has a win over one of the best prospects at 170 in Brian Battle. Who do you guys want to see him fight next? The next fight I want to talk about in the prelims is Mr. Felipe Lima versus Muhammad Naimov. I mean, Felipe Lima came into this fight looking fantastic. Outside of the first round, I said, oh yeah, I don't care if he wins or loses this fight. I'm putting him on my list to watch going forward. And plus, so I can't imagine how strong and how fast he is at bantamweight. If he fought this fight at 145, I mean, he looked absolutely fantastic. And him being able to finish his UFC debut over a very, very tough guy and in Naimov, it was absolutely fantastic. Felipe Lima, welcome to the big show. I can't wait to see your next fight. You looked great. Now we're going to move on to the main card. And like I said over my TikTok, go over there and follow that. If you don't, that's why I post most of my things. I said Johnny Walker either wins by a very, very crazy knockout, or he gets knocked out in a cartoonish way. And we got him getting knocked out in a cartoonish way. Volkan Oezdemir looked fantastic in that. I mean, he hurt him twice before he knocked him out. The knockout was absolutely insane. Yeah, the knockout was crazy. What do you guys think is next for Volkan Oezdemir? Obviously, he's still a top 10 light heavyweight. Who would you guys like to see him fight next? I don't know. Do y'all think he has another run at a title in him, or a run in a title in him? And Johnny Walker, I don't know what you do after this. I mean, knocked out by Magomed Ankalaev his last fight. I want to say that was in the first round, maybe beginning of the second round. And then he just got knocked out by Volkan Oezdemir. I don't know what there is left for him. He said he wants to move up to heavyweight, but he's getting knocked out like this at light heavyweight against 205ers, maybe like 220 people. Maybe people who weigh like 220 the night of the fight, but they can't hit that much harder than the heavyweights. And I don't imagine a heavyweight throwing punches at that chin would find any less results. It would probably just be more painful, in my opinion. What do you guys think about this fight? Let me know. After that fight, we had Shera the Bullet Magomedov taking on Antonio Tricoli. Tricoli looked good. He looked good. I admit, he looked really, really good against Sarah Bullet. That surprised me. I thought Sarah Bullet was going to run through him. I want to say the first and the second round, I gave it to Tricoli. But it was like Sarah Bullet was like trying new things in that fight. You know what I mean? It looked like Sarah Bullet just knew he could put that man out anytime he wanted to. And he did put him out. He put him out cold. But all the hype that's going around Sarah Bullet, I don't know if it was the late opponent replacement or what was going on, but Sarah Bullet did not look as dominant as I thought he would. Antonio Tricoli should definitely get another fight in the UFC. Hopefully he has the opponent set in stone and he actually fights the person that he originally signed to. I think he's going to be a very, very fun fighter in the UFC. The return of Kelvin Gastelum did not go without the hiccups. The original bout was scheduled for 170 pounds at welterweight. The fight ended up being contested at 185, which is insane. Kelvin Gastelum did not try to cut weight. I know he said he had staff. Why don't you tell the UFC? Why don't you tell D-Rod that you got staff? And they can change for that. Don't tell him Thursday. Come on, bro. Like, that's unnecessary. That's super unprofessional. That's not fair to D-Rod. And D-Rod put on a hell of a fight. But as far as the performance inside the cage goes, Kelvin Gastelum looked like Kelvin Gastelum. He has a solid chin, and he showed that. D-Rod caught him with some good punches. He also threw some good punches at D-Rod. I think the rest of his UFC career or MMA career should be contested at 185, so the UFC does not have to worry about this saga going on again, because he's missed weight at 170. I want to say at least two times, and I think that's too many. But yeah, who does KG fight next? And I think he should be at 185. What do you guys think? In the co-main event of the night, the fight that I thought for sure was not going to go past the second round at the absolute latest, went to decision, and Volkov looked fantastic during this decision. I mean, that jab and leg kick he was throwing all night, it just looked like it had Sergey Pavlovich in a matrix. He looked like he didn't know what was going on. Volkov, he's showing that he's a top 5 fighter, top 3 fighter, I think, now in heavyweight. You got John Jones, the champion. Stipe's up there, I'm pretty sure. Cyril gone, and I don't know another top heavyweight off the top of my head. Curtis Blades, Tom Aspinall, so he might be a Friends top 5 guy. But either way it goes, he showed that he's a really, really good striker. Sergey just can land the power bombs that he used to land in and knocking people out in the first round. Where does Sergey Pavlovich go after this? That's back-to-back losses, even though this was a decision. He got knocked out kind of embarrassingly versus Tom Aspinall in his interim title fight contendership. But I don't know where they go after this. Who does Alexander Volkov fight next? Maybe the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. If John Jones does retire after he fights Stipe, I think they're targeting November now for that fight. Volkov still look like he got a lot in the tank. The former Bellator champion looks really, really good. In the main event of the night, we had Robert the Reaper Whittaker taking on the next superstar Dagestani guy, Aliskerov. And I think Robert Whittaker reminded the world that he is who he is. He's a former champion for a reason, and he showed that there is many, many levels in this game that we love named MMA, and he looked absolutely fantastic for as long as the fight lasted. First round knockout over a young up and coming phenom in a lot of people's eyes. I can't be more impressive than that. Yeah, Robert Whittaker, he's in a great spot now. What happens at 185, I have no idea. Confirmed that DDP is taking on Izzy at UFC 305 in Perth. So that's the 185 belt contested there. Waiting at 185, you have Sean Strickland said he's not fighting again for until he gets a title shot. And now you have Robert Whittaker right there, up there with him. And you also have Nazarene Imanov, who beat up or stopped Jared Cannonier in Louisville, I want to say maybe a month ago. 185 is in a very, very peculiar place. I'll make a video on that. But what was your favorite fight of the night from this card? I really, really enjoyed that Felipe Lima fight and the Robert Whittaker fight, if I'm being completely honest. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to see more like this. Like the video if you did. Be good people. Peace.